My father's voice was like a whip cracking through the stillness. "You're no longer part of this family," he announced after I stumbled across their Easter post on social media, a festive gathering I wasn't invited to. "Don't expect another dime from me," I fired back, my fingers moving quickly to halt their utility payments, cancel every automatic transfer, and arrange for the car I'd bought to be repossessed. "Just so you know," I added, my voice calm but icy. Later, my dad called, his tone flat, devoid of feeling. "We're skipping Easter this year, bad weather, everyone's staying home." No pause, no warmth. "No apologies, no plans to reschedule," he said, as if it were nothing, then hung up. I stood in my kitchen, staring at my phone, waiting for some error or explanation that never came. There was no mistake. They hadn't canceled Easter. They just excluded me. I'd been pushed aside before, but this wound cut deeper, like they'd stopped pretending I belonged. I tried to brush it off, ordering takeout and scrolling through streaming services to dull the ache. Then my phone buzzed, an Instagram alert. My sister had posted a photo. I clicked without thinking, and there it was. The whole family gathered around a table piled with roasted ham, fluffy mashed potatoes, deviled eggs, warm rolls, and Mom's signature lemon tart. Mom glowed at the table's head, my sister lifting a glass of raspberry juice with a triumphant smile. My cousins were there, my aunt, even Uncle Mike, who hadn't shown up in years, everyone but me. The caption read, "Family is everything. Blessed Easter, grateful souls." My hands went numb. They hadn't canceled the holiday, they'd erased me from it. I dialed my dad. He answered after 2 rings, casual as ever. "Hey, what's up?" he said. "You told me Easter was canceled," I said, my voice low. "Yeah, the weather," he replied slowly. "That's strange," I said, "because the sun's out and I just saw your Easter feast on Instagram. Everyone's there but me." Silence. "Then let's not make this a big deal," he said. "You lied," I shot back. "It wasn't a lie," he countered, hesitating before adding, "You've been distant. It didn't feel right including you this year. Honestly, it's easier this way." "Easier for who?" I asked. "For everyone," he said. "You've been acting more like an outsider than family lately." That stung, sharper than he likely realized. As he rambled on with excuses, I opened an app on my phone, one he'd forgotten I controlled, tied to the car in his name, the one I'd paid for, insurance included. With 3 taps, I marked it for sale. Confirm. Done. 2 hours later, a tow truck pulled up to his house. He called when the driver knocked, but I just smiled. This was only the beginning. It wasn't just about Easter. This had been building for years, small slights piling up until they overflowed. Let me backtrack. For 7 years, I'd been quietly supporting my family. It started small, covering gas for my sister, buying groceries when my parents claimed they were strapped after a boiler repair. Then it grew to paying extra on their utilities, becoming routine, expected. I never complained, even as they dismissed me as just some tech guy who'd never amount to anything. They never asked about my life, never showed gratitude. But if a payment was late by a day, the guilt trips began. "We're your family, your sister's struggling, you don't have a spouse or kids, you can afford it." I stayed quiet, believing that's what family loyalty meant. My dad wasn't always like this. When I was younger, he was strict but fair. But in my 2nd year of college, he lost his job and never bounced back. Something in him changed. My sister, Leela, took charge. She became the family's core, deciding who was welcomed, who was thanked, and who was blamed. I was always the scapegoat. Leela could do no wrong, the golden child. Married at 22, divorced by 24, remarried at 26 to a quiet man named Evan. He was decent but withdrawn, almost too withdrawn. When Leela wanted a grander wedding venue, I paid for it. When their basement flooded, I covered repairs. When they bought an SUV, I handled the down payment. Never a thank you. Then there was the car. My dad's credit was ruined from an unpaid loan. He said he needed a vehicle to get back on track. I didn't hesitate, bought him a used Toyota Camry, covered the payments and insurance. It was in my name but registered to him. "Just paperwork," he said. "You don't need it anyway." I should have seen the red flags. This year, I'd finally cleared a huge credit card debt, mostly from an emergency dental surgery my mom swore she'd repay. She didn't, but I told myself it was fine. I could breathe again. I even dreamed of a trip to France. Then Easter struck. They claimed the gathering was off, citing bad weather. I believed them. Then I saw the Instagram post, everyone smiling around a table, my childhood handmade centerpiece right in the middle. That hurt, but the comments were worse. My aunt wrote, "So glad everyone could make it." Even Evan's parents flew in. "Too bad Charlie couldn't come again," Leela replied. "He said he had better plans, can't force someone to care about family." My stomach twisted. She'd lied, painting me as the one who didn't care. Everyone believed it. The next morning, I checked my bank app and saw an unfamiliar charge, a payment to a wedding planner. My heart sank. It was from an old card I'd let Leela use 2 years ago for Evan's surprise party. Recent charges showed thousands spent in weeks. I called the planner, pretending to be confused. "Oh yes," she said cheerfully. "The vow renewal ceremony, it's all set for next Saturday. Your card covered the deposit." A vow renewal. My pulse raced. They'd excluded me again and used my money to do it. I didn't scream or confront them. I acted smarter. I listed my dad's car for sale. While waiting for the tow company, I canceled their utility auto payments, disconnected their grocery delivery account, and removed myself from their streaming plan. Petty, perhaps, but it felt just. 2 hours later, the tow truck arrived at Dad's. That's when the text started. "Leela, what did you do? Why's Dad's car gone?" "Dad, did you sell it? That's our car." "Me, no, it's mine. Registered to you because your credit's trash. My generosity is done. Happy Easter." "Leela, you're insane. You're destroying this family." "Me, you already did. I'm just cleaning up." She called 7 times. I ignored her. But then Evan texted. "Can we meet? I didn't know this was happening. I think I need out." I stared at his message. For the first time, someone else saw Leela for who she was. The vow renewal was set for Saturday in a charming garden with string lights and handwritten vows. I knew the details because I'd paid for them. By Thursday, I'd told the planner to cancel it and reported the charges as fraud to my bank, submitting proof to start a case. Leela could deal with that. Evan and I met the night before at a quiet diner far from family. He looked worn out, defeated. "I'm sorry," he said before sitting. I shrugged. "You didn't take anything from me?" He nodded. "I knew she used your card once for a party, but this. It's too much." He slid an envelope across the table, screenshots, bank records, proof. "Thought you'd need it." I took it without looking. "You leaving her?" I asked. "I want to," he whispered, "but I'm scared of her reaction." I understood, but felt no fear anymore. Saturday came. I wasn't invited, but went anyway. I waited until everyone was seated under the white tent, waiters pouring sparkling cider, flowers on every table. Mom sat up front, teary-eyed. Dad adjusted his watch. Leela stood under the canopy in a white dress, holding Evan's hand, smiling like everything was perfect. She didn't see me at first. I walked down the aisle in jeans and a dark shirt, holding the envelope Evan gave me. A guest gasped. My uncle muttered, "Is that him?" Leela's smile vanished. "What are you doing here?" she snapped, stepping back. I stopped a few feet away, locking eyes. "Don't worry, I'm not staying. Just delivering a gift." She crossed her arms. "If you're here to ruin this," I held up a document. "This proves my card paid for this event." The crowd murmured. I raised another. "This is your email to the planner using my name and card." Another. "This is Evan's bank statement showing money you claimed was for emergencies. It wasn't." Leela froze, speechless. Evan stepped forward. "She lied to everyone," I said loudly. "She used my money, deceived you all, and made me the villain while you enjoyed the party I funded." Mom stood. "That's enough," she said. "Don't ruin," I cut her off. "You don't get to talk. Maybe you didn't know about the money, but you knew who she was and always took her side. I was just the bank, never family." I looked at Leela. "The bank's closed." Evan faced her. "I'm done," he said. "Find someone else to manipulate." He walked out. I followed, ignoring her shouts. That night, I turned off my phone and sipped raspberry juice in silence. Peace at last. By morning, I had 21 missed calls. 6 from Mom, 5 from Dad, 3 from Leela, the rest unknown, likely family who witnessed it. I ignored them, except one text from Evan. "Thank you. Not just for what you did, but for showing me I'm not crazy. You helped more than you know." I felt a weight lift, maybe closure, but Leela wasn't done. 3 days later, a lawyer's letter arrived, claiming I caused her emotional distress and public humiliation. I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my coffee. I sent her lawyer 30 pages of evidence, transaction records, messages, video from the vow renewal. Yes, I'd recorded it, and Evan's signed statement. I also filed a countersuit for the unauthorized charges, emotional harm, and financial betrayal, and reported her to the bank for fraud, freezing her accounts. The venue she tried to rebook canceled again. Then Mom showed up with a tray of pumpkin bread, as if that fixed anything. I didn't open the door, watching through the peephole as she whispered into her phone. She knocked again. "Honey, let's talk," she said softly. My phone buzzed. A voicemail from Dad, his voice stiff. "You've made your point. Stop this. You're tearing us apart." I got texts from Leela. "You happy you won? Everything's ruined." From Mom, "We never thought you'd go this far." "Why not talk first?" From Dad, "This isn't you. What happened to our son?" Then one from Uncle Tom. I saw what you did. None of us had the guts. Respect. I replied only to Evan. You okay? He answered instantly. Free for the first time in years. Lawyers ready? Divorce papers filed. Got a new place and a therapist. Leela's claiming you hacked her accounts and turned me against her. Your parents believe her. I'm done protecting her. I thanked him and slept soundly that night. 2 weeks later, my cousin Sarah, a longtime Leela supporter, texted, I had no idea it was this bad. She said you cut us off because you thought you were better than us. I'm sorry, did she really use your card for the wedding? I sent one screenshot. She replied, wow, she told Grandma you gave it willingly. Then the twist. Grandma called. She'd seen the video. My heart stopped. What video? I asked. The one your cousin recorded. It's in the family chat. I hadn't shared it, but someone did. Sarah added, Grandma said you were right. I was wrong to think Leela changed. She's leaving you the house. I called Grandma. Her voice was firm. You've earned it, she said. I should have done this sooner. Leela would have sold it for jewelry you gave when no one else did. I cried, not for the house, but because someone finally saw me. Then Leela texted, You win. It didn't feel like victory, just truth laid bare. 3 months later, the vow renewal was canceled. Leela and Evan's divorce was underway, and her lawsuit against me was dismissed. The judge barely glanced at my evidence before saying, Is this for real? My countersuit is pending, with settlement talks in progress. If I win, half the money goes to a charity in Leela's name. Justice with a twist. My parents haven't contacted me since court. Mom sent one photo of an empty Father's Day table with, Hope you're satisfied. I didn't reply. Just sipped raspberry juice on my new apartment's balcony 3 states away. They don't know I moved. I owe them nothing now. Grandma's house is mine. Her letter in shaky handwriting said, You gave without expecting anything. This is yours for that. I cried again. Do they miss me? Unlikely. They've lied to themselves so long, truth feels like betrayal. But my life began when I left. I'm running again, writing, making friends who don't ask for handouts. I booked a one-way ticket to France. I leave next week. Leela's final text, You should have stayed quiet, now everyone knows. I replied, They do, and now I do too. Then I blocked her. If you're trapped in that role, always giving, always blamed, listen. You don't owe them your peace, your money, or your silence. You don't have to burn yourself to keep their world warm. Sometimes walking away is the bravest act, not because you stopped loving them, but because you finally loved yourself. Family means showing up when it matters. If they won't, leaving is what matters. I've never felt more alive.